Good morning, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living here in the heart of Las Cruces, where your center continues to be alive and well in all of our hearts and through Zoom and through all of these wonderful ways that we stay connected. I'm Reverend Bonnie, the Community Spiritual Leader here at the Center, and this week I want to remind you that our weekly Spiritual Circle discussion group continues to be on Wednesdays at 11. We read and discuss a different article from the monthly Science of Mind magazine. The discussions are insightful, lively, and fun, so you can get the Zoom link on the newsletter or call the office and you can get your invite. Our bookstore is open by appointment, so call the office again and get an appointment to come in and browse. We still have some wonderful things in there, in addition to the Science of Mind magazine if you would like to get that as well. We started Roots this Thursday on March 11th. It goes for 10 weeks, so there's one more week that you can jump in if you would like to join us. Roots is a dynamic delve into the New Thought thinkers who inspired our founder, Ernest Holmes. So we have great discussions, a lot of fun, some experiential activities together. There are 7 spaces in the building available, and anything beyond that we will be Zooming, or you can have the option to Zoom in if you're more comfortable. Our fabulous and talented practitioner, Teresa Valenzuela, is facilitating the Association for Global New Thoughts Season for Nonviolence. It's a weekly discussion and meditation via Zoom through April 4th on Sundays from 1 to 2, and you're welcome to join in any Sunday that you can. There is still time to add your name to the nominees for a board position. We are growing beautifully and look forward to partnering with you to expand our presence in the community. So please call Bob Greer, the office, Faith Brown, or myself if you're interested in joining the board. Speaking of the board, today, Sunday the 14th, we have a Zoom board meeting, and if you would like to join, please call Bob Greer or myself, and we can get you an invite to join the meeting. We are excitedly working to improve our website, so expect a rollout with our new look later this month. As usual, we are so very grateful for your continued support in the form of tithes and offerings that are sent here to the center, paid electronically, or mailed in or dropped off at the back there. We fully believe in the principle of circulation and prosperity, and therefore we are a tithing community. This month, 10% of all we receive through your tithes and offerings are being tithed to the Las Cruces Gospel Rescue Mission, which is the only shelter in Las Cruces that offers Christian guidance, provides emergency food and lodging services 24 hours every day, uses no tax dollars, and seeks to reassimilate the less fortunate into productive society. So thank you so much. Now please welcome our practitioner in service.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for joining us here today. My name is Teresa Valenzuela, and I am your practitioner in service today. I want to remind you that the practitioners here at CSL in the heart of Las Cruces are available to pray with you over the phone. Call the office for our number, and we will return your call. Don't forget our prayer request button on our website, so you can still send us your prayer requests. The confidential request goes directly to a practitioner. And we are still praying with you from our homes as we Zoom together each Tuesday afternoon. Now it is time for song, silence, and prayer.
In this moment, I am grace. Grace is this moment. Grace, grace, grace. This moment is what I am. In this moment, I am peace. Peace is this moment. Peace, peace, peace. This moment is what I am. this moment I am still, is this moment, this moment is what I am.
And so as we come together and step into that place of gratitude, taking a moment to reflect on our day and knowing that we are in the exact perfect space and spot right here and right now, and recognizing that there is one divine creative mind, one universal energy, one God. And as we breathe in and out and just allow to be reminded of the truth of who we are, the blessings that we are, and just allow from within us to without to radiate all of those amazing God qualities: compassion, joy, kindness, abundance. And so with that at the forefront of our thoughts and in our hearts, we just bring together and are so grateful for this beautiful moment to be able to share within the message that Liliane will bring to us today, the music that the Browns have, and just that incredible energy that we as a CSL community bring right through the Zoom room. So grateful to be here, so grateful for each and every one of you. And so it is. Our reading for this week is by Marianne Williamson, Our Deepest Fear. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We are born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we're liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. And so it is.
I spent a long time running, I never knew then what I know now. That the fruits, they always come in, but you can't go around just knocking them down. It takes a long time to show in. We plant the seeds then, and we look at them now. But the roots are always growing, no matter if I'm there or never around.
Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, what's meant to soar will soar, I am planting seeds, nothing
It's like
more.
your whole life you've been training for this moment, and when the time comes you just disown it, meaning you just surrender, don't control it, not interested in the clay pots and mold it, or sitting next to the path trying to unfold it, or waiting for the fruits to fall down toward you. Let it go and now you're flowing, feeling quite gorgeous, so you take steps away instead of towards it. What a rush, feeling freedom with nothing to hold. We've been taught that what you touch will always turn to gold, and now we're learning when we let it go it overflows with no credit to take, cause no credit is home. A higher power working deeper where the seeds are sowed, and when the seeds are true then they're seeds of gold. But the real gold is joy when life starts to flow, and when it does you just smile cause now you know.
I spent a long time running, I never knew then what I know now. Let the fruits, they always come in, but you can't go around just knocking them down. It takes a long time to show in, we plant the seeds then and we look at them now. But the roots are always growing, no matter if I'm there or never around.
Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, what's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds, whatever grows
Yep,
will grow,
when it grows it grows,
whatever dies will
and when it
die,
dies it dies. Come on,
works will
if it works it works.
whatever flies will
Let it fly, let it
whatever
fly.
fails will
When it
fail,
fails it
what's meant
fails.
to soar will
And
soar.
when it soars it soars.
I am planting seeds, whatever grows will
Let it grow, let it
whatever
grow.
dies will
When it dies it dies.
whatever works will
When it works it works.
whatever flies
Yeah,
will
let it fly, let it
whatever
fly.
fails will
When
fail,
it fails it fails.
to soar will
Come
soar.
on, let it soar.
I am
I'm planting seeds and nothing more.
Whatever grows will
Dies it dies. When it works it works. Yeah, let it fly, let it fly.
fails will fail,
Fails it fails.
to soar will soar.
Come on, let it soar. I'm planting seeds and nothing more.
You know, when you smile, it just helps someone to know that you're cared about and that you love them.
Our speaker today is practitioner Liliane Pilot, who has spent much of her life as a spiritual seeker. She completed advanced training in the use of sound and music and healing, and then became a licensed practical nurse. In 2001, she went to India, and there she led sounding and mantra groups and facilitated workshops in sound healing. From 2005 until 2013, she was a member of the music ministry at the Center for Spiritual Living, Edmonton, Canada, and earned her Science of Mind practitioner's license in 2012. She has been serving as a practitioner and speaking for us here in Las Cruces for several years now. A huge blessing for us. Please enjoy Liliane Pilot.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Liliane Pilot, and as always, it is my very great pleasure to be here today, right here, open to possibility, dreaming a dream called life. I'm sure you have, like we all have, but have you ever felt like things just weren't going your way? Or thought from time to time, WTF? When we're facing challenges, it can appear difficult to fully realize that the field of unlimited potential lies as close as our own minds. Let me repeat that. The field of unlimited potential is as close as our own minds. I have this little red container that I use to feed chicken scratch to the chickens. You might think it's for the dogs and the cats because they eat it too, but no, it's really for the chickens. And as soon as they see that little red container, they come running and they follow me all the way to the coop and they watch me fill it full of their food. And then they watch me go outside and then they watch me dump it on the ground. And then they follow me all the way back to the house because I still have the red container. Their golden food is on the ground right in front of them, but they're still following the empty red container. And I think that we're a bit like that, following empty containers while our good is right in front of us and right inside us. I have spent the bulk of my life afraid to be myself, afraid to stand up, stand out, be seen, robed fully in the garment of the divine that was crafted solely for the expression of me. Who am I to think that I could be that? Well, as Marianne Williamson said, who am I not to be? Today I'm going to share with you a very personal story, and it's one that's unfolding, actually, as we speak. Now, I've spent a lifetime feeling different, and I know many people feel this way. But I wondered if, maybe I was special somehow, destined for great things, because as I grew up, I saw that I didn't really completely jive with the other kids. I was ahead of the curve in reading and writing, but figuring out how to be comfortable with a group of people was a great big mystery to me. I spent a lot of time alone, and I used to fantasize about being a vet and a famous movie star and a couple of other things. But I didn't really believe any of those things were possible. In my late teens, I loved to dance, and whenever the house was empty, I would leap and pirouette around the house. And in my mind's eye, I was as graceful as a gazelle. Maybe I'd be a famous ballet dancer, except I never actually took dance instruction of any kind, and I was terrified at the thought of anybody actually seeing me, so I put that silly idea down. And I took a lot of art classes in high school, actually quite a lot of art classes, not so much math and science, which kind of bit me in the butt later. And I kept a sketchbook where I wrote and I doodled, and I wanted it all to be pure genius. But mostly I thought these melodramatic outpourings of my teenage heart and my odd, clumsy doodles didn't look much like the great classical works that I'd been exposed to. And so I decided I was neither writer nor artist either. But somehow I still felt special. Now, my greatness might have been in my mind's eye, but it sure didn't seem to be in my actual life, and so my mind just chiseled away at my potential until it was so disintegrated I couldn't see how to put it back together. There's many versions of a story. It's attributed to Michelangelo, but further research will suggest that maybe he never actually said this. But the sculptor chisels away at what isn't in order to illuminate what is. I'll find a good place to put this. And over the years, as I chiseled, I began to fear that all that would be left would be my idiosyncrasies. And what good could come of that? Anyway, something always propels us forward, and I continued to putter at various creative endeavors. I did a little theater, but I was still kind of too shy to be seen. I sang professionally without actually believing that I was any good at it. And finally, hallelujah, I have blossomed into the creative life, the wonderful creative life that I have now. And I guess after I chiseled enough, there was something besides crazy in there. As Oscar Wilde said, be yourself because everyone else is already taken. I love that line. And I'm grateful. I really am. I see so much beauty, just the light shining through a leaf, or just the way that a pebble casts a shadow. It's crazy. I just see this beautiful, beautiful stuff in every moment. And I think, okay, God, what are we going to play with today? And then I get to see what gets created. It's a fun game, but it took a long time to get here. So about 100 years ago, when my boys were young, I used to read to them at bedtime, and one night I started making up a story, and it just took on a life of its own. So every night, they'd get tucked into bed, and I'd sit there, and it would just start making itself up in my mind, and it would pour out of my mouth, and then at a certain point I'd go, "Okay, good night," and I'd shut the light off, and I'd run upstairs, and I'd type down everything that I could remember that I had said. The book is called The Cloud Reader, and it's about an autistic boy who loves clouds and meets a magical cloud man who helps him make sense of his world. Now, at the time, a friend of mine was the founder of the Edmonton Autism Society, and she told me that she would help publish the book if I'd come out of the closet and admit that I had Asperger's, which is on the autistic spectrum. She said I was as aspy as her sister any day of the week. I said it was ridiculous. I wasn't, and even if I were, why would I want to give myself a label like that? Years later, I was traveling with my best friend and a couple of his friends, and I was talking to one woman, and after a while she looked at me and said, "Gosh, I'd love to spend an hour in your mind, but just 1 hour." My friend, overhearing this, blurted out, "An hour? I couldn't handle 5 minutes in there." And I've been ruminating over that one for about a decade now, during which time the matter of my personal wiring has come up a number of times, in fact, a rather large number, to the point that I've had to consider if I really am on the autistic spectrum, and if so, what do I want to do about it? So this came to a head during this past year. I'd been thinking about the lives of various family members, and some were already diagnosed on the spectrum, and others, well, one has to wonder. And there is a familial thread. And I was asking my sister one day about one family member in particular. It was somebody I felt really, really connected to. And she said, "You think?" So the tumblers started clicking and clacking away. And then just a few months after that, I just found myself on this listserv for a group of people who are all on the spectrum, and I have no idea how I got on that list. It's another one of the great mysteries of my life. But almost every day this blog post comes from someone describing what it's like for them, and a remarkable number of these people are actually my age, and they've only just been diagnosed in the last year or so. And some of these letters have really touched my heart, and some of them have made me cry. There's these subtle internal mechanisms described in perfect and beautiful detail by total strangers. Except apparently they're not strangers, they're like brothers and sisters in a family of people who march to a slightly different drummer. And without knowing me directly, they've kind of given me permission to be myself in all my glorious weirdness. And I'll keep you posted on how that goes. But there's one thing that I know for sure. This whole thing has opened me up to a new field of possibilities in a number of very exciting ways. I'm ready to publish that book now, by the way. I like my art. I don't have to be afraid to be myself. I'm not wrong or broken. I'm just a bit different. And some of those differences have sent me on quite a journey, but some of them have given me tremendous gift. There's a quote attributed to Nelson Henderson. "The true meaning of life is to plant trees under whose shade you do not expect to sit." Now, one of the challenges on the spectrum is an inordinate focus on the self as it struggles to figure out how to posit itself in the world. But eventually, we must all learn that every action leaves a ripple, and we rarely know what effect those ripples will have. Every single moment is a seed planted, and we don't get to know fully what grows in the wake of our divine action. I've had my share of challenges, and as I look back over my life, I have to accept responsibility for those things I created and for how I responded to those things that came to me. And Aspie or not, everybody has their own stuff, their own filters. Many years ago now, a very good friend of mine, we worked together, we hung out together, our homes were open to each other. I looked after her daughter. I mean, we were very close. But we had a falling out, and I wanted to fix it. But she said she was just too overwhelmed with what was going on in her life to deal with it, and kind of wrote me off. And we didn't have much in the way of communication for over a decade. And as I was writing this talk and remembering about that, I had to make peace with that again. I realized that, I do still have some sadness about it, but sometimes life takes us in different directions, and we don't always get to know why. We just have to trust there's some good that's going to come out of it. And something just settled. And less than 24 hours later, she reached out to me. She contacted me. She needed some specialized writing work, and she felt that I was the right person for it and asked if I would consider doing it. We did a Zoom. I went to a good place where I could get signal, and we did this Zoom talk for 4 hours. And a lot of it was actually business, but we talked and connected. And she let me know that during the time this thing had happened between us, she was actually going through some pretty challenging things. And I told her, I might have understood what was going on differently, but I'm pretty sure I'm on the spectrum. And without any hesitation or surprise, she, who knew me so well, said, "Oh, well, that explains a lot." And just quite simply, it was done. And we had a really good connection, and I got the contract. So life has a way of putting in front of us whatever it is that we need to know for the greater unfolding of our own soul journeys. The only question, I think, lies in whether or not we want to pay attention and take action or stick our heads in the sand. And I've done both of those things. So everyone has their own internal demons, the little gizmos that they trip over, and everyone needs a why in order to have the tenacity and the strength to move forward. A guest at the Domes recently said I really inspired her, and I was like, wow, and I thought about that. And I realized that I actually had finally grown into myself so that I could be a vehicle for inspiration. It took a while to get there, too. So I really like what Elizabeth Haysh had to say in this book, Initiation. It's a fantastic read. The highest creature on earth is man. It is his task to carry out the completion of the spiritualization of the earth, a task at which all living creatures are at work, each within the limits of its own particular stage of development. And every human being who transforms himself from a being identical with the body into a being reawakened in spirit, a divine being, identifying his consciousness with the divine self, has fulfilled his duty. He has spiritualized a bit of the earth. I think that's a pretty good why. And I often think about how I can best serve, but I also know that service doesn't drive all of my actions. A few years ago, I was living in Costa Rica, and I was wondering what to do with the rest of my life. I'd moved there with a plan A, but not plan B, and so I found myself at loose ends in a foreign country, and for a few years, I moved around and I did quite a variety of things. I did not have a plan, but I did have a desire to meet someone I could share my life with. Now, if you don't have a plan, you can be pretty sure the universe will just simply give you the plan du jour in an effort to meet your requirements, no matter how vague they might be. And so I did meet somebody, and I moved to New Mexico, and I married him. And I found myself in a full-time career running a nature retreat in the middle of nowhere. And don't get me wrong, this is all good news, and it brought me right here, like actually right here. But in our 60s, we were running now, full-on running a brand new business during the years that we might have considered kind of winding down a little bit. So we're looking at all of this. We're looking at our good fortune and trying to figure out how best to expand it and to expand time and expand our ability to get everything done, expand abundance, expand our playing field to meet all of our desires. And we're open to our dreams. We had a really good business meeting the other day, and there were like a lot of things on the to-do list. And the whole time we were having this meeting, I was playing in the back of my mind, we have to stay open to possibility. I don't know how this is all going to work out, but I know it will. So have you ever looked at what was on your plate and thought, there's no way I'm getting this done today? How the heck am I going to get through this? And I used to do a lot of contract work, and one morning I had this list longer than my arm, and it had to be done that day. It was mandatory. I really had to focus. But here's the thing, it's like looking in a microscope, right? You see the one thing in complete detail. You're in it. It becomes your world. And you lose time as you focus on it. You do what you need to do, and then put in the next slide. Rinse and repeat. And as you focus in, the minute expands, and so does time. And at the end of the linear day, you realize you've accomplished the impossible. So, looks like Doug and I have a lot to do, but we have a universe of abundance and potential at our fingertips. A few years back, a friend of mine, John, gave me his formula for success, which was given to him by Tolly Burkan, who's, I think, the firewalking guru. And I don't know who gave it to him, but I have yet to find a situation that doesn't fit. He says, number 1, know where you are. Number 2, know where you are going. Number 3, have a plan. Number 4, do the plan. And number 5, expect the best. It's magical in its simplicity. Know where you are. Know where you're going. Have a plan. Do the plan. Expect the best. Now, my friend John is somebody who has in his life faced a lot of hardship, but he continues to move forward. He evaluates the situation, he dreams his dream, makes a plan, does the plan, and expects the best, and he's done very well. His tagline, only the love is real. Love is handling the situation. Love, one of those synonyms for God, is handling the situation. As long as we know that, we are open to the field of all possibilities. Ernest Holmes has this to say: today, the possibilities of my experience are unlimited. This is page 305 in the Science of Mind textbook. Today, the possibilities of my experience are unlimited. The Spirit flows through me, inspiring me and sustaining that inspiration. I have ability and talent, and I'm busy using them. This talent is divinely sustained and marketed under a universal plan of right action. Life lies open to me, rich, full, and abundant. My thought, which is my key to life, opens all doors for me. I am one with infinity, divinity, and I recognize this unity. I proceed on my way as one who knows that God goes with him into an eternal day of infinite privilege. I have only to open the portals of my soul and accept that which is ready to express through me. Today I fling these portals wide. Today I am the instrument through which life flows. Isn't that powerful? So we can learn that we are creative beings if we don't know it already. We can learn that we are divine, and we can learn to remain open to the field of all possibility. It is dependent on our faith in the law, the degree to which we know what we want and can picture it clearly, our willingness to take action, gratitude, and I think also our ability to refute the naysayers in this world that we live in. You know, my friend that I just reconnected with, she also shared with me that she has now her dream job. She loves it. She's brilliant at it. They love her. They're extending her contract forever as far as she can tell. She spent years preparing for it. She knew what she wanted. She had a clear picture. She didn't allow negative vibes in her inner circle, and she practices gratitude. Boom. There's plenty of folks out there who are ready and willing to say we're full of, baloney. And many more who may appear to agree in principle, but they're not willing to uphold the teaching through their actions. We are witness to a great deal of chaos in the world around us, which for some people serves as proof. See? Look at that. That's all there is. It's what it is. It's all you get. But what someone thinks of you and your beliefs is none of your business. It's a really good time to just plug your ears and hum. Sometimes that's a useful practice. Know the truth of who and whose you are and keep on going. Do not doubt your birthright. Do not doubt the power of God. Do not doubt yourself as godling. Do not doubt. You must hold in your mind's eye the life you wish to see and don't let go. Be grateful for every little thing. Take action steps towards your dreams and know you will witness their creation. And so I know there is one thing, the thing itself. I know there is one force of action, of goodness, of pure potential. And I know that the field of all possibility is alive in me, fertile, ready to blossom as I feed it the nutrients required under the law. Right here, right now, I say I am watering my garden with clarity of vision, with intention, action, and gratitude. This is the fertile soil in which my dreams will grow. Right here and now, I declare my commitment to this process, knowing that my action as an expression of God is right and perfect and divine. It's working out into the world and expanding its goodness, and I give thanks for every step of the journey that has informed me and brought this knowing to the forefront of my considerations. May I endeavor to shine this divine light into every crevice and corner, illuminating that which is altogether lovely. I give thanks for God and God in me. As I release these words, I know that they are met and matched in law. Little particles of potential reorganizing themselves as I speak. And I ask you to join me in saying, and so it is.
You're my life, you're my breath, you're a smile, you're my guest. You're the earth, you're the sun, you're the grass, you are love. You're my hands, you're a bug, you're my eyes, you're a hug. You're the light in the dark, you're the spark, you are fun. You're my mom, you are water, you're the stars, you're my daughter. You're my friend till the end, you're my dreams, you're my father. You're the ants on the ground, the miracles that surround. I'm feeling it all around, the hemisphere in the clouds. You're my pain, you're my sorrow, you're my hope for tomorrow. You're the strength when I'm hollow, you're the path that I follow. You're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss. The gift to realize that everything
All
is a
that
gift.
I am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all, for it all. Grateful for it
You're the blessings every time I try to count. You're the lessons that I learn every time I turn around. You're the water when I'm burned every time I think I found everything I'm looking for. You're the sign saying stop to take a bow and keep moving forward and start looking towards your heart. It'll open all the doors and only then you'll start to hear the world singing chorus with your mind and heart. Aligned in purpose, everything
all
will feel
that I
gorgeous.
am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all.
Every day I sit and pray cause what I have is more than I deserve or could ever imagine. How do I give back to all of this magic and spread the love so everybody can have it? Doesn't matter if I'm rich or poor, if I got a family or if I'm all alone. Bad things happen, I can just complain and moan. But there's a million things that I can be grateful for.
So I lift up my hands now, and I open my heart, and my gratitude goes out to everything near and far. All that I am,
Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I look deep down and feel all the blessings. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I'm grateful for it all. It's amazing. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I look deep down and feel all the blessings. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I'm grateful for it all. It's amazing. You're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss, the gift to realize that everything is a gift.
Wait, one more. This is for y'all.
all that I am.
It's a blessing.
I am grateful.
So I want to thank you again for joining us. Stay happy, stay healthy. Looking forward to seeing you next week.